Hello, Priyanka.
Hi, Nisha.
How are you?
I'm actually sick. I got COVID.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So
that's
you are this. Uh-huh.
yeah, that's why I didn't turn on the camera yesterday because I was so sick.
Oh, okay, no worries. Sometimes you can just run off.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling better today, but yesterday I was very, very sick. But I got some
Oh,
medicine today, so hopefully it's gonna get better.
mm-hmm. Okay, yes, just take care.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you.
Nirusha, I have a question.
Yes, please.
So you know the videos that you upload, they say like they expire on certain dates. So do we have to download them if we need to access later or?
No, no, you will get all those videos from the portal. Did you access from the portal?
Yes, I'm watching some right now. Yeah. But on the chat it says like, oh, it's expiring on certain dates. So that's why I was
Oh no,
confused.
no. The chat in the chat, there is no worries. You can go to the portal
Okay. Thank you.
because already uploaded video will be expired in the chat, so you have to go to the portal.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you.
CSS with basic JavaScript for React. CSS with JavaScript for React. ए ड्याङ ड्याङ नगरे ढोका
Yes. Hmm? Yeah, have it. That other guy will have. People are posting.
Hello everyone, good evening. Gorak will join after 10 minutes. Thank you.
Hello everyone.
Hello,
Hi
Gaurav.
Krishna.
Hi.
Hi Nirsa.
Hi,
Hello.
Hi
Gaurav.
everyone. Hi Priyanka. Hi.
Hello,
Welcome
Gaurav.
everyone once again. Okay, today we are gonna do CSS and JavaScript together. So I'll be covering CSS things as well each and every day for a few weeks, and JavaScript things as well, because JavaScript and CSS will take some time to you to understand. JavaScript is a programming language. CSS is nowadays is also becoming a programming language, but what we are doing right now is actually not related to programming logic regarding CSS. But later we'll see how we can dynamically actually modify CSS from JavaScript. Today we'll see how we can use how we will use CSS in better ways in React as well. There is something called CSS module which we want to integrate with React. We will rename CSS file with having CSS module naming convention. We'll see that as well. So, and we'll see basic things regarding JavaScript. We'll see how we can create how we can create conditions in JavaScript regarding variable things. Maybe we can discover array and object in JavaScript as well. We'll see those things as well, right? Starting this session, do you want to ask me something? All right then. Let me open my VS Code. Now, please just open your VS Code and start the live server. Okay, you need to go into your terminal and type yarn start to start your live server each and every day. If you haven't closed your live server from yesterday, then you can actually uh, you can do from there without starting your live server if the live server is already started. Otherwise, you need to start it. Okay, so just a second.
Do we open the same project that we were using yesterday?
That's right. Yeah.
The one that we cloned
You can work on the cloned one or
uh,
on your own folder as well.
on the
If
one
you
folder?
on your one folder that you created previously before
Oh,
cloning.
okay.
If you have your one project, then you can work on your one project as well. But if you work on my project together, then you can get the latest code from GitHub by just writing the command git pull on your terminal. So if you go to that cloned project, if you just try to open that clone project,
Yeah,
you
I
can,
just updated it.
yeah, you can update it using git pull command.
Okay.
Okay,
And then like
great.
if we follow along and change the document just at the end, just hit the discard button, right? So we can fetch it again.
Yeah, for now you can hit that discard button. Actually, that is not a good practice to do because you will lost your one code, right? If you hit that
Yeah, the
discard
code that
button,
I was okay. Yeah.
that will be destroyed. That will be destroyed. Yeah. Later we'll see with GitHub as well how you can preserve your one code and actually get my code as well together
Oh,
at the same time.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. React is actually a library to create user interface. So in the next week, we want to create user interface as well. There is something called Figma. I think we discovered that name as well already. We will look at the Figma as well. So basics of Figma, how the interface is, the design is created in Figma as well, right? So let me share my screen here. Okay, I just opened it. I need to go to terminal, and I need to first make sure I am inside this create react app. Okay, so if you have two folders, then you need to go inside one folder where you are working. Otherwise, if you have a single folder, then you don't need to go anywhere. You can directly start your live server, but all the time make sure that you are inside the correct folder. First, you can type ls to list the folder name or file names. You have connecting GitHub and create React app. We are not inside this create React app. We want to go inside this create React app first. So for that purpose, what you can do is you can type cd and create React app. Cd means you are changing the directory. Directory means folder, right? And space create React app means the name of the folder where you want to go. Now, once again, I am typing ls command, and here now I can see package.json. So now only I can start my type server using yarn start command. Is it what we were doing last time? I think there is something more, right?
No,
This is
we
not
didn't
this.
have this. We did the beginning of JavaScript with the const function and the let variable.
That's right, yeah. So I think I opened this one. There may be another folder. So what I will do is I will get the latest code from GitHub if I don't have the latest code. So what I can do is you can do it only on your cloned project, okay? You cannot do on your, I think you can, uh, yeah, you can do on the cloned one, yeah. You can only do on the cloned one, not on your own project because they are the different Git repository. So let me see, let me write it status first. It says on the on branch master, master means the main branch. You can see on GitHub, for example, let me go once again. Let me open my GitHub somewhere. So master means the main branch. You can see the name master here. Later we'll add multiple branches here. Currently we only have a single branch. Usually the main branch name is master or main. The name may be main or master, all right? So it says I am on the branch master, and it says your branch is up to date with origin master. Origin master means the remote branch. Okay, you can hit control or command depending upon your PC. If you are on window, control, and if you are on Mac, command, and click here, and it will actually get the detail from origin branch. It says it is getting the latest commit that we pushed on the main branch or the master branch. Now what should I need to do to get that latest code? I don't have the latest code here, but if I go to GitHub, uh, if I go to GitHub inside src, inside app.js, I have this code. So how can I get this code to my VS Code here?
Git pull.
Yeah, can should I directly use that command git pull, or do I need to check if it
Git
needs to
fetch
get
maybe.
a git fetch, right? I need to type git fetch to make sure if I want to get the information, if I'm getting the information or not. So it is now fetching the information. It is now checking if there are some changes with GitHub and my local branch, local environment or not. Now it has, I think, downloaded those information already. Now let me check once again by writing git status command, and it says my branch is behind by 7 commits. I am behind 7 commits. So I am behind 7 commits means there are 7 commit more, 7 commits more in the remote branch, right? This is the remote repository or the branch, you can say remote repository. And I am behind 7 commit means I don't have the latest 7 commits. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? I don't have these 7 commits. I think someone pushed the commits on the master branch already here as well. So I need to get these 7 commits. You can actually print those commits here as well. So what you can do is write git. So I think git log dash dash one line. So whatever commit you have will be printed here. I started from connecting with GitHub and ended to basic CSS with React commit. So connecting with GitHub here and basic CSS with React here. So I have only these commits on my GitHub. I need to get those other commits as well. So what should I do? I need to type git pull now, right? To get those commits. Now let me hit enter and let's see. Okay, I think I got the correct code. Here the CSS is the CSS what we wrote yesterday, and the app.js is the file that we created yesterday. Now if you write git log one line command once again, git log space git space log space double hyphen one line. Now I am getting all the commits starting from connecting with GitHub all the way to first attempt, right? So starting with connecting with GitHub here all the way to first attempt here. So I think Ganesh so I'll get all of your changes here. Yeah, it is just a commit with a single new line, I think.
So git log is giving only your commits, right? Local commits, not the origin commits.
That's correct. Only the local commits. Currently, I have downloaded all the commits from remote to my local. Now it will give all the commits which are present in remote as well, because I downloaded it first. Okay, any question? Right? Okay, this is all about GitHub for today. Now let's move to CSS things. Okay. So you may have already realized how we can connect this JavaScript with CSS, right? By using this import statement. By using this import statement, you can connect with app.css and app.js. So I told you that this is the location to write JavaScript, and this is the location to write HTML. And where is the location to write CSS? We usually write it in another file somewhere here. We can still write it here, but it is better to write somewhere outside another file. Later we'll see how we can write CSS in JavaScript itself as well. But do not write inline CSS. There is a concept called inline CSS as well. Do you know inline CSS? Have you heard about it? If you search for inline CSS, this is a bad practice actually. Writing inline CSS is not good. But what you can also do is write CSS directly on your tag, something like this. Let me copy this one and go here and paste. And I can save it. Oh, maybe I missed something. And in React, I cannot write CSS in this way. I need to wrap it in double curly brace. Later we'll discover why is that double curly brace, because CSS is something called object in React. So I need to type comma here instead of this semicolon. Okay, colon, text align. Actually, this needs to be camel case as well. These are the difference. We need to write in basic CSS, we write CSS property as text align name, but in React, we need to write this in camel case. Actually, we don't have to write CSS in this way, but we can also write CSS in this way as well. And this should be in string as well. Now you can see CSS is changed here. So we can write CSS in this way as well. We'll discover the better way of writing CSS in this way later, but you don't have to write CSS directly here. This is not a good practice actually. So better to write CSS in the separate file somewhere here. All right, and we select. Okay, so that was the inline CSS. And this is the CSS written in some external file. Now what I want to do is I want to create some two div here. So one div. Later we'll install an extension or configure emit so that once I write div and hit tab, it will be auto completed. I actually disabled all the settings of VS Code to make this bootcamp from scratch. So right now you need to type less than sign, div greater than sign. This is the first div and this is the second div. I have two div here. So for now, let's focus on this two div only. Okay, this will not be visible in our live server until we write something in some content or make or increase the height of the div, right? So let's write some content. I am only visible in large screen. This is the content for this first div, and I will write the similar content but for small screen here. So we want to actually show this div for the large screen. Large screen means this screen, and for this screen we want to only show this content, the first content, and for small screen, this one, we want to show this content. It means we want to conditionally hide and display the content depending upon the screen size. You may have realized that when you open the website from your mobile device, then the website page will be slightly different for mobile device. The navigations will be hidden or on the left, or you need to click somewhere to actually get that navigation. But for large screen, they are already there on the top. Maybe some of the cards will be aligned vertically, but for large screen, they can be displayed horizontally. So there might be some changes depending upon the screen size. So now what we want to do is display this one only for the large screen, display this one only for the small screen. So can you guess how can we achieve such situation?
Media queries.
That's right. We need to use something called media queries in CSS to conditionally display those things for depending upon the screen size. So let me give it a class, give this div a class so that I can select a div uniquely, or I can select the particular div. So let's give this a class. I need to write class name, large screen, and class name, small screen. Okay. Let me hide this one. And now what I can do is I can select this one from the CSS, right? Large screen. I'm selecting this large screen. So dot large screen means this content, okay? This content. So what I want to do here is I want to hide this content. But I told you that previously for large screen, we want to show that content. Currently, I'm hiding because I'm on this small device here on the right. Now that content is hidden. So if you write display none, this CSS syntax actually. So this is a CSS property and this is a value. So as a whole, it becomes a CSS declaration. So if you write this CSS display none, then your content will be hidden from the screen. Now I don't have that content, right, for the large screen. That is hidden. So I also have a small screen. Now what I want to do here is I want to use something called media query. So you can search about media query in CSS real quick here. And if you go to W3 School, you will see the media query convention. The way of writing media query starts from @media, this word. So what you need to do is write something like this, @media. This refers to media query. From here, we can select different screen sizes. Okay. And it says in the bracket, just write some expression. So let's see where is this used right here. It says media screen. So screen means something like our screen, our laptop screen, or desktop screen. Okay. So we can write something else instead of screen, but we will always use a screen most of the time actually. I think down here the other names are not present, but we will only use this name, screen. So we'll write @media screen and something inside here. So what is the minimum width where you want to show these things? And we will actually write our CSS inside here. So let's follow this syntax and implement in our CSS file. We need to write that inside our CSS, okay? So what do we need to do? We need to write media, right? And if you don't write a screen, it will also work. Okay, there you saw screen, right? If you don't write a screen, it will also work here. So let me only write media, and I just want to write mean width. This is the name that you need to type exactly the same. Mean. So if the mean width is 400 pixel, if the minimum width of our screen is 400 pixel, we want to do something. If the minimum width of our screen is 400 pixel, then only we want to make this visible. Now we don't want to hide it. We want to display it. Now I'm writing block. Why? Because that div is a block level element. Now I'm writing display block for the larger screen. It means this code works for the screen which are greater than 400 pixel. This code works for the screen which are not greater than 400 pixel, which are less than 400 pixel, you can say. Now I'm saving it. You can see it is visible, but if you right click here, you'll see actual screen size. Okay, click on the inspect, and now I'm resizing. Let me see. And on the top, can you see right here 683? Let me make it 700 so that I'm writing 700. It means if the screen size is greater than 700, then only I can see that content. Otherwise, I will not see that content. Okay. Now let's see. Can you see what is my screen resolution currently? Can you see it, guys? Right here on the top. I think my fonts are slightly small. Is it visible to you, everyone?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you see it is decreasing from 1430, right? So it is decreasing once I start resizing this window. So now it becomes 1200, 1100, right? So 900, 800. Still my screen is, the content is visible, but because I'm still within that range. 700. Now I'm close to that limit. Once it becomes less than 700, that content will not be visible. Can you see? Just at this moment. So it becomes less than 700. The size, screen size, the the resolution, the pixel becomes less than 700. That's why it is not visible in that small screen. Okay, this is how we will hide and display the content depending upon the screen size. This is called responsive design. Okay, so I am doing mobile first responsive design. Mobile first means I am doing the things only for mobile first, because I am hiding this content means I am doing these things for mobile, right? Hide this content for the large screen means show this content on the small screen. That's why I'm writing this CSS for the mobile. And then later I'm writing this CSS for laptop or desktop for larger screen. So writing mobile first design is actually popular nowadays. You can do the opposite as well. You can write display block here, or you don't have to write anything if you want to do in opposite way. If you don't want to do mobile first, if you want to do desktop or larger screen first, then you have to write maximum width here. If the maximum width is 700 pixel, then it will be it will be uh, it will be hidden. Now it is working in the same way. Yeah, it is hidden if that is screen size is maximum screen size is, if that maximum screen size is within that range, then only it will be visible, otherwise it will be hidden. Okay, so nowadays this type of convention is most popular, writing mobile first CSS and then later for desktop.
I have a
All right,
question,
so
Bharat.
yeah, yes please.
What's the command for when you highlight and you want to like comment multiple lines?
Yeah, just use your mouse or touch trackpad, then use command forward slash in your Mac, control forward slash in your window. Forward slash is that question mark key, okay, on your keyboard.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys, any questions here? No question? It means you understand it, right?
I
You
tried,
can
but
ask me
it's not
anything.
working.
Yeah.
Hi, Guru.
Yeah,
I tried
on
this
whose
on my
PC it is
local,
not working?
Yeah.
my
Sachin,
screen.
is it?
Yeah, Sachin.
Yeah. Let me go with Sachin first, okay? I'll get back to you guys. Sachin, what happens actually?
This is what I need to write, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But this is
And
what I
you
have. Did
missed
I
other
miss?
CSS as well? Yeah. You need to actually hide it first, right? So after line number 20, you need to
Ah,
just select that large screen first and hide it. Yeah, that's right. And make it display none first.
no, it's playing on here.
And just try to resize your window. Maybe if there is less than.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's looking good. Okay. So first we need
Okay,
this
all
one
right.
and then okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. Yes, guys. So somebody is asking me, do someone have some issue, guys?
Yeah, actually, I was trying to do the same thing. Can you share my screen?
Yes, please. Yes.
That's good.
Uh, are you able to share your screen?
Yeah, actually, I just need to give you permission. Please. Now, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
I did do this. After this, like here, I did do like mean with 700 pixel. So
Mhm.
if I keep on decreasing, like it is supposed. Okay, now okay, my bad.
All
Sorry.
right, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Okay, is that fine now?
Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
All right. All right. No, let me share my screen. And you cannot write many CSS things here. Like you may actually think like this is a CSS property. I can try background color, something like this, or color, read. Actually, you cannot write those things. This is a special syntax in CSS. That is a media query. Okay, that is a media query. So most of the time we will use either mean width or max width, or sometimes we can use this together as well. Other than that, you will not use, right? You cannot use like font size here, font family, or background color. This is really important, right? When I start learning CSS, I thought that I can write anything here. I can write these things as well, but you cannot do that. You can only write mean width or max width. There are some other CSS media query syntax as well, but most of the time we'll use mean width or max width. Okay, this is also you need to actually take care. Okay then, so let's now move to selector. Let me commit it. Okay, if you yeah, you can try using multiple media query together. You can write mean width and max width here as well. So previously I saw here CSS media query. Let me go to W3 school and it says responsive web design. Actually, this is for CSS media query. Okay. I want to see if multiple rules are written together. So let me go here and here once again. So you can refer to Mozilla website. Yeah, you can see here, like we can also use print, but we will only use screen. We saw that we can discard this and it will also work once again. And let's see somewhere down, and you can see this. There are two conditions written together. So what does it mean? EM means slightly different unit. You can think about it like a pixel multiplied by some 10 or 15 times. All right, maybe this may be around 150 or 170 or 200, maybe 150 pixel. This may be uh, uh, around that range, maybe 225 or 300 pixel. You can think about it right now. Later we'll see what is this unit as well. But right now what I want to say is, let's say that this is 100 pixel, 150 pixel, right? This is 225 pixel, let's say. So now we are writing our CSS for the screen, which is in between 150 to 225 pixel. So we can exactly write the CSS for those screens as well. So if our screen size is in between these two ranges, then we can use this syntax. So in real life, where is this used? We have most of the time mainly three screens that are really popular. First one is mobile device, right? The second one is tablet device, and the third one is desktop or your personal computer or your laptop. So they have their different screen sizes. Maybe the mobile will be below 600 pixel. This is just an assumption for now, okay? Below 600 pixel, and your tablet will be from 600 to 900 pixel, and your desktop or large screen will be from 900 to greater than 900 pixel, let's say. So what you need to do is to write CSS for your tablet, you need to actually specify your screen resolution or your size in between 600 to 900 pixel. At that time, you'll use this minimum width and maximum width syntax at the same time. All right, you can just try doing these media queries and try practicing this one on your one. So any question, guys? Okay, then let me commit this at this moment. And we'll move to another CSS topic. So now we want to see something called selector. We already saw some of the things regarding selector. Selector means we want to select this element from HTML to CSS. We can select directly by writing the tag name, right? Writing the tag name, or we can select the element by writing this dot sign and the name. This is for CSS class, or we can select it using ID as well, right? So what we can also do is, let's say, let me write, let me create one button here. Click me. This is a button. So let me make it slightly bigger. Actually, we can directly select this button or write class name equals, let's say, button or click button, you can see click button. And we want to select this button from here. So what do I need to do? I need to write dot click button, right? And CSS rule here. So I can say that outline, uh, let's see if there is this syntax working, not working. Let me just try background color for now. Let me just write red, and the background color is red here. So what I want to do is, if I hover over this button, I want to change this background color to green. Currently this is red all the time. If I hover over here, it doesn't actually work. So we want to do this behavior if we hover over there. Okay, guys, I think I will need to just stop this for just give me a minute, guys. I think I need to disconnect and reconnect once again. Okay, I'll be just right back. Okay, just give me a minute. Sorry for that. Yeah, sorry for that, guys. Actually, I was using this connection from my cellular data. I have some issue with the internet from yesterday, so it was disconnected. So can you hear me now? Is it fine?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay. All right. All right. Great. Great. So let me see here once again. And okay, what I was referring is I want to actually when I hover over here, I want to change this color to some different color. Can somebody have some idea how can I do that? Can somebody give me some hint? I want to put my cursor over this button, and as soon as I put this cursor over this button, the color background color should be changed to green.
So you need to add pseudo
Over.
element over.
Over.
All right, all right. So that is something like pseudo element. Okay, I'll get back to that. So the name is hover, right? So it means I can write once again dot click button and something like this colon. We will add this kind of syntax when we are referring something called pseudo classes. I'll get back to that, but the class name is hover now. This is called pseudo class. So I'm attaching such kind of pseudo class to the existing element. We can attach such kind of pseudo class to the existing element. Okay, this is called a pseudo class. There are few other pseudo classes as well, right? Focus, hover. Right now I'm writing hover. Background color to green now. And if I save it now, oh, if I save it now, and if I move my cursor to that button, the background color is changed. You see, changed to green. This is because of this attached other class together with the class existing class. This is the class already available, right? This is the class already available here, class, right? But we attach another class here by writing this colon, and that is called pseudo class. All right, guys, that is called pseudo class. So there are other pseudo class like focus. There is something called checked for input elements. So, but this is a pseudo class which you can use to the element, to the existing element. So it means, can I use the pseudo class for some other text as well? Let me make it smaller. I think I have zoomed in here. Let me try to use pseudo class for this one as well. So this is coming from the first heading, I think, h1. Let me try to write h1 here, h1, and the color is now red. The color of that h1 is red, and let me use the pseudo class over. Now the color should be, I think, yeah, the color should be changed to some other color, right? Let's say this blue violet. And if I save it, if I move my cursor here, now the color is changed here. Okay, this is called pseudo class. Is that fine, guys? This is called pseudo class. So we'll use pseudo class if you want to change the behavior, if you want to change the behavior of your element, CSS element on the screen, depending upon the user interaction. If user put his cursor to the certain element, if you want to change the color or some behavior, or if you want to animate your element, then you will use such pseudo class. This is called pseudo class. Okay, this is a real class, and this is a pseudo class. All right, you can search for CSS pseudo. Okay. pseudo class. And here we will use pseudo class by writing this syntax, colon and the name of the pseudo class. Right? We have this link, this visited. This is usually for a tag, and the hover, the active. This is usually for the link. These are also pseudo class. This is what we used, hover. And maybe there are other, like these are the actually available pseudo classes that we can use. These are all the available pseudo class. We will not use many of them together most of the time. Most of the time we'll use active, checked, disabled, and focus, hover, link. Most of the time we'll use these pseudo classes. Target, right? We'll use visited. We'll use most of the time these pseudo classes. Okay. Is it fine? Any question, guys, regarding CSS pseudo class? Okay. So
So you were gonna say something about selectors. Was that
yeah,
with the
actually
button?
these
Maybe. Yeah. Go ahead.
sorry, please complete your question and then I'll answer.
No, no. I mean, I thought you were gonna say something about button not needing a class name, right?
Mhm. So what do you want to do with button?
So
Maybe.
without using a class name, show it how we can use it in CSS.
Yeah, without using class name, you can directly write button here in CSS.
Oh, in CSS. Okay.
You can directly write button, but the disadvantage of writing such syntax is it will also work right now. But disadvantage is if you have multiple button, then the same CSS will be applied for all the buttons.
Or you could write button dot that name, right?
Button dot class name. Yeah, that's right. That's also correct. We'll see that in combinators.
Okay.
Okay. Okay then. So yeah, we also have something called pseudo elements as well. So I think when I just show you CSS pseudo element, this is CSS pseudo element. So see, we will use 2 colon for CSS pseudo element. Nowadays pseudo element works for single colon as well, but better to use 2 colon for pseudo element and a single colon for pseudo class. Let me quickly commit this one. And let's see for pseudo element. Yeah, most of the time we'll use before and after pseudo element. Let me see the output here and we'll try to implement it. Okay, you can see h1 paragraph and another h1 here. This is s1 and this is paragraph. This is another s1. Maybe I'll try to remove this all from here and only h1. Right, only h1 here, and let me run it. Now I only have h1. You can do it right here as well. Okay, in this W3 School online editor. So I only have h1 inside body. Where is this emoji coming from actually? This one. This is coming from this CSS pseudo element before. So I wrote before here. Actually, it was already written, and the before is here, and we inserted the content before h1. So let me try to insert instead of this one. Let me write hello. Let me run it, and you can see hello here. So if you want to insert some content before some element, then you can do it with CSS pseudo element as well before. And you
This
can
is
try.
being written in
Yeah,
HTML, right?
this is written in HTML. This is written in HTML. So the
Oh, okay.
style
So maybe
means this is written in CSS.
okay.
This is the code written in CSS. So you can use this style tag directly inside HTML, which is not recommended. That's why you need to write this syntax in your CSS.
So does this mean that any H1 tag is gonna add hello?
Yeah, that's right. Any
Okay, okay.
H1 tag is gonna add hello. If I have another H1 tag here, three H1 tag, and all of them are adding hello at the end. But if I
Okay,
write a
okay.
specific class here, class, right? This is HTML, that's why I'm only writing class. So if I write first, then instead of H1, if I write first dot first here, then that hello will be only added for the first H1. All right, I can have class for same multiple elements, same class name for multiple elements as well. Same name here. Then this hello will be added for these two elements. Okay. So I can do the same thing and do the same thing in my React as well. Right here, I just copied that one and I'm going to paste it here. But in React, I told you that you need to write class name instead of class. Other are same. So these are H1. So let me select this two H1 and insert the content before. What I need to do, go to CSS and write somewhere here, write first, and this is a class which will select those two H1, right? And I need to actually type double colon here. And these are the available CSS pseudo element syntax here. You can see. I want to use this before, and I want to have some content here. Content I am before. So let me write it in single quote. And then we save it, and you can see I am before here. And then this is heading for 2h1. So actually, this is I am before pseudo element, and you can see the same content here for these two. And you can have one space here and one space here as well. Yeah, in this way we can use pseudo element. Pseudo element and pseudo class are different. Okay, pseudo element means if you want to actually have something which is visible here on the screen. Currently we are viewing these things before or after this element. So in such case we will actually use pseudo element. But pseudo class, if you want to give some interaction depending upon the user, if you want to display something depending upon the user interaction, then we'll use pseudo class most of the time. Okay, guys, any question? Where are we? Okay, then let me yeah, let me know if my screen is properly not visible. Actually, if the connection is not good, that's why I am disabling my webcam as well. Okay, I think we will do these CSS things as well. Once we progress, we will move to the advanced CSS topics like Flexbox and Grid as well. But let me show you the last concept regarding selectors today, and then we will move to JavaScript. Right? So let's try to yeah.
Can you
Yes,
show me
please.
the app.js for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, great. I told you that we can have multiple elements inside one inside other, right? For example, I can have a nav here. Nav is also HTML element, right? Nav here, and inside nav, I can have multiple links like a, and we can make it a link by writing href here equals let's say https google.com, and this one is facebook.com. And if I save it, uh, I cannot see anything on the screen. No, because I need to write something here in order to view it. So this is for Google, this is for Facebook. Now I have two links here. Let me add something in between, like a br is also HTML element, right? But this is a self-closing syntax in React. Now I have Google above and Facebook below. If I now click on Google, I'll go to this Google page, and if I click on Facebook, I'll go to this Facebook page. So in this way, we can create a link in our HTML with the a tag, with a tag. So if you write a tag, then you can insert link inside href and write the name of the link as well. Otherwise, it will not be visible. So we can do it. So nav tag, and inside nav tag we have a tags, two a tag, right? But we can do something here, like we can select this nav tag from here. Nav tag only. I'm directly selecting nav tag. If you have multiple, usually we have a single navigation. If you have multiple, then you can write a class to specify to select the single one as well. Let me write a background color to make it a red. Nav is a block level element, we can see, right? And let me write color and make it white. And you can see there is no effect. The color is not becoming white here because we are doing it for the nav tag. So we want to make this color different. Maybe white for Google and Facebook. And we want to increase the font size as well. Let's say font size to 20 pixel. Now the font size is increased, but color is not changed here. So if I do it for a tag, let me do directly write a tag because we have a there, right? And let me make color to white. Now the color becomes white here. So the disadvantage of using such kind of syntax not together is if we have another a tag somewhere outside, maybe somewhere here, right? Like a tag on the top for home, and this is I need to write href here. Href equals the home. Okay, the forward slash is referred as home. We'll see that later as well. But now, where is that? Where is that home text I have written here? It is not visible. Why?
Because you gave the color white.
That's right. Yeah, I gave it a color white. Actually, I wanted to give only these two a tags of white color, but this a tags also becomes white. I can handle this in multiple way. Maybe try inserting a class here. But the better way of handling such situation is use combinators. Now what we can do is I don't have to write it here, or I don't have to write it separately. What I can specify is first go inside nav and then go inside, only select the a tags inside nav. That's why I can start from navigation, nav and space and a tag. Let me save it now. Now this color is only applied for these tags which are inside this nav. This is a CSS combinator. We can select uh, multiple nested HTML elements with this syntax. Okay, you can search about combinators here. And somebody were asking me this syntax as well, right? We have this syntax as well. We have this tilde syntax as well. So this is a child selector. This is a adjacent sibling selector. And this is a general sibling selector. But we did something like this, right? We went inside div. What this is doing is this is going selecting a paragraph which is inside div. So we can see it on the live server here in directly. You can see there are two paragraphs, right? Three paragraphs actually, which are inside div. So by this tag, by this syntax, this is a CSS, okay? By this syntax, it is selecting all the paragraphs which are inside div. We have a child selector as well. Let's see. And here with the child selector, we are selecting the paragraph which are only the child. So can you tell me a difference between this, the selection of this paragraph? Three are allos here, paragraph 1 to 3. Here, the third one is not allo, but other three are allo. So what is the difference between this syntax and this syntax, guys? Can you tell me difference? What is happening? We have one more paragraph inside section here. Okay, we have a section, and inside section, you can see inside section, we have another paragraph here. It is also selecting that one, right? It is also selecting that one coming from here. But if you go here, we have this paragraph inside section, but it is not selected. Can you see? So child selector will select the direct child only. This is a parent, right? And which are the direct child? This is a child, this is a child, but this is not a child, this is a grandchild. That's why it will not select this one. And this is a child. That's why using this syntax, greater than syntax will only select the elements which are direct child of this parent.
Can you show the previous one?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, this one doesn't have the greater than, that's why it's selecting all the childs.
That's right, that's right. This is a grandchild, right? And this is the child. Means this is a child and this is a grandparent for this child. You can say in that way as well. It will select all the child, however deep they are, right? So you can try another div element here. Just try it. You can try it here as well. Div element here, and I am now inserting a paragraph here. Paragraph, paragraph, and I'm writing hello, and I'm running it. Can you see? It is also selected now. It is too deep, right? It is right here. But if I use greater than sign here, now just see what is the difference. Now what happens? Actually, this is also selected because we are targeting a div and this is also a div. Better to write a class here. If you only want to specify this div, so class equals first. Let me write it first. And instead of writing div, you can write first here. If I run it now only paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 are selected because other paragraphs are not directly inside this div. They are deep inside here. But if you do not use this greater than sign, all the paragraphs will be selected, however deep they are. Is that fine?
Yes.
This is called a descendant selector, and this is called a child selector. Sometimes they are asked in interviews. They are really simple, but slightly confusing actually. So I think this is not used nowadays. I haven't used this that much. Actually, I forgot what it does. It is actually adjacent sibling selector. So let's see in the try yourself. And can you see what is this doing here? Paragraph 3 is selected. Paragraph 7 is selected. So paragraph 3 is here and paragraph 7 is here. So uh, if I
It
if
will
I have a
select the paragraph right after the div.
right after this, right? Let's see, but it is not selecting. So it means I need to have something in between.
Not inside, just it's the adjacent element.
Okay,
You are deleting the child of.
yeah,
I mean to say it will select the P just right after the div. After
right,
closing the div.
right after
The
this, right?
the first P tag after closing the div.
Okay, okay, yeah, that's right. So yeah, can you explain what is happening here then? Paragraph 3 is selected. Where is this coming from? It is coming from here, right?
Yeah,
And the paragraph 7 is
and you can see just before the that paragraph there is a div with two paragraph inside.
yeah.
So I mean to say the P tag is selected just after that closing div.
Oh, yeah, just after this closing div. This one. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, oh, yeah. So this becomes adjacent then, right? Just
Yeah,
after,
exactly.
yeah. So, okay, yeah, we can do this. We can use this plus sign, plus selector to select those elements in this way as well. But I think most of the time we will use this this one, this syntax. I haven't seen this syntax quite as much as well, and this syntax as well. These are there. These are actually the combinators. Actually, there is another one here as well. This is the general sibling selector. Just try it yourself. Just try to actually hit and trial yourself, and I think you'll understand what is happening here. But these are all CSS combinators. If somebody asks you, what are the CSS combinators that are available in CSS, then you need to actually know a little bit about this one. That they can be asked in interviews, but in real life, most of the time, you will not use such kind of tilde syntax, plus syntax quite much. We may have to use sometimes, but most of the time you can do those things by just using these combinators. But if you want to have a complex, actually what we will do is we'll use some CSS frameworks as well most of the time, and some of the components in CSS are already built. So, but who built those components? We developers, right? That's why we need to use those syntax sometimes, but most of the time it is good to do those things with general combinators as well. Descendant selector, but you can try using child selector, this adds and sibling selector, and general sibling selector. All right, these are there just to select those elements. Currently we have many paragraphs here, right? But all the paragraphs are not selected. So only specific paragraphs are selected depending upon the rule. That's all. Okay. Any question you want to ask me?
Earlier in the code, can you go back to the code?
Okay. In my VS
Not
Code,
this,
right?
the VS Code yet. What was the
Yeah.
reason you had to separate this to a child? You couldn't put this color in the nav bar, in the nav CSS? But
In the nav
didn't see.
CSS. Yeah. Yeah.
No, no. So the nav CSS above, you couldn't put that color white in there.
Yeah. Right here, right? You
You couldn't
mean?
put that up below. Yeah, you couldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I can write, but it will not be inherited. So I think we need to look at the inheritance topic in CSS as well. Something in CSS are inherited. You can see I put this font size here and it worked, right? But
Yeah.
not the color, not the color.
It didn't
So
work. Okay.
yeah, it will not work. So I think this will be clear. This will become more clear if we actually explore inheritance topic in CSS as well. There is something called inheritance. So something is inherited from parent to child and something is not. All right?
Okay. Since it was in the child level, you couldn't put it in the parent.
Yeah, I need to put
Okay.
directly here. Yeah, we'll see some colors are also inherited. We'll see that topic. That topic is also coming.
Can I clarify here?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
We cannot use in the parent because the browser is already creating a color, so we cannot overwrite from its parent property. So we are using in the anchor side.
Great, great. Yeah, that is more specific. There is another topic like specificity. Yeah. These topics will become make it more clear. And yeah, somebody who told the explanation currently is quite accurate. So the color is already there, like this blue color, which is already created by the browser. So we are creating ourselves here, and we are not overwriting it. So this is because of something called specificity as well. Yeah. Uh, you can think currently that if you directly select, then it will have a higher specificity, means higher priority. Otherwise, it will have a less priority. Sometimes it will win, sometimes it will lose. And yeah, we'll explore that topic as well. Okay, then I think this is all for today regarding CSS. We'll explore these topics slowly, the CSS topics, and let's move to JavaScript topic as well, somewhere here. Okay, any question or anything you want to ask me or provide me some suggestion until now, guys? All right, then let's go here and do something. So this is the location where we can write JavaScript here in this file called app.js. What is the location? From line number where to where we can write JavaScript? Can you tell me? Or where we cannot write JavaScript directly?
I don't think we can write JavaScript after return once we open return.
Yeah.
So before return.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Before return, after this curly brace, but here as well. Actually, this is the file app.js. Everywhere we can write JavaScript except it enters into the specific location. Here it is entering into the specific location. This is called JSX. That's why we cannot directly write JavaScript here. I'm telling directly, that's why we can somehow write JavaScript here as well. So we cannot write all the JavaScript, but we can write something called JavaScript expression. Later we'll see expression and statement. So last time, yesterday, I inserted these things here. This is a JavaScript. It means inside JSX, if you write curly brace, then only we can write JavaScript. Otherwise we cannot. So outside this JSX, outside this return, we can directly write JavaScript. So outside return, we can directly write JavaScript, but inside return, this is the location of JSX. That's why we need to write this curly brace if you want to insert some value here. So let me remove all the things from here and let's do something regarding JavaScript. So I told you that we can write JavaScript outside of this return. It means we can also write JavaScript here. You can check if JavaScript is working or not. Just go to your browser inspect element, right click, go to browser inspect element, go to console, and just write something outside here, like console.log and hello, something like this. This is hello coming here. So it means this is working outside here as well. You can try uh, printing different hello. Let me see console log and command v here, and you can see that this is coming twice. Actually, we'll see why is that, but this is coming from outside and this is coming from inside. This is coming twice because we have something in only in development mode. You can just comment it to disable for now. And this strict mode is printing twice so as to make sure everything is working correctly. It will checking it twice. Otherwise, it will print once if you just comment it. I'm just commenting it for now. Later, I'll uncomment as well.
I'm sorry, you got cut off, so I couldn't hear the first part.
Sorry. Yeah. What I was saying is we have something called strict mode in our index.js. Let me go back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, strict mode. That's why whatever you write inside component will print twice. I'm writing hello from inside this app component, right? That's why it is printing hello from inside twice.
Okay.
But it is not inside component, it is outside the component. That's why it is printed only once. It is printed twice because of this strict mode, this one. So if you disable this one, I'm just commenting it for now, and now it will print only once, whatever inside this component, this one. All right, this is printing once, this is printing once as well. Later we'll see what is the importance of a strict mode. For now, let's disable. You can also disable, and you can start working here.
And we cannot disable app?
No, you cannot disable this one. It will not work. We are actually rendering this app here. If you disable app, it will not work. So it says hello from outside, not from inside. The app component will not work anymore. Okay, you cannot disable app. You can only disable strict mode for now. And okay, most of the time we will write JavaScript inside here, inside this component, if this is specific to this component. Otherwise, we can create some external file and write JavaScript there and import it here. That's why let me remove this JavaScript from here, and I'm going to write some JavaScript inside here, inside this component. Okay, this is called component actually. Okay, in JavaScript we have a concept of function. Do you know function? Like function means a machine. It will have some input. Machine will also take some input. It will provide some output. Your machine can provide some output as well, right? Your machine may be anything. That may be a juice maker machine, and you will add some fruits on the top, and you will get the juice from the bottom, right? This is a general machine, and we have a function similar to that concept. We have a function here. We may have a function called add, and it will take two numbers, a and b. This is the input. Okay, we will insert a and b, and this will give the sum a plus b. This is a function. Okay, so the function writing function, the syntax is just write function and write a and write the name of your function and write what you want to actually give input to that function and what you want to get that from that function. You'll write it inside this return statement. You can see we already have a function that is a component, right? That's why this is also a function. So it is not taking anything, but it is giving us something. So it is giving us, if I write hello here, it is giving us hello string here. But this function is giving us the value which is actually added. So how can we actually run this function? How can we make this function workable? Any idea?
By calling the function.
Yeah, by calling the function. So if you have a juice maker machine, without using that machine, it doesn't make any sense, right? You need to use that. We have a function here as well. That's why we need to use this function. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. It will stay in its one place. It will not execute actually. So we are calling this function. To call this function, you need to write the name of your function and write parentheses, opening and closing small bracket, you can say parentheses, okay? And you need to pass something because this is accepting A and B. You need to pass two value, right? So let me pass 10 and 20 here. So if I run it now, we cannot see 30 somewhere. Where can we see 30? We haven't
Not in
printed it on
JSX.
the, yeah, that's right. We haven't printed it on the screen, right? We only have hello on the screen. This is a screen, you can say. This is your screen. Inside this fragment, you have your screen, which is visible on the screen. So let's store the value in some variable. Let's store the value in some variable. We can create a variable from the const keyword, right? Sum, and whatever added from here will be stored into the sum. And now, can I write sum directly here? Will it give me 30 on the screen? If I save it, it is giving me sum.
Curly braces,
Uh,
maybe.
Yeah, I told you that this is the location of JSX. If you want to insert JavaScript, this is a JavaScript variable, isn't it? Sum is a JavaScript variable. We can create a JavaScript variable with the keyword const. That's why sum is a JavaScript variable. So if you want to insert some JavaScript thing here in the location of JSX, then you need to use curly brace. Now we are getting 30 here. Okay. So you can change, you can actually use this function as many times as you want. You can change the value. You can try changing the value and you can see this will be added here on the screen. This is a function. Okay, this is a function that we created and we used this function. We printed this function on the screen. Right? I can directly use this function on this screen as well. Let me remove this from here. Save it. Once again, it is working. What is happening here is it is executing that function. It is getting the result from this function. So guys, to use a function, what you need to do, or better to use, store it in some variable and print that variable. Okay, it will be easy to understand. So this is called function declaration in JavaScript. Function declaration. We can create a function using another syntax as well. We can write some name here. This is another syntax, okay? I'm disabling it and writing it in another way. Now, what we can do is write a function and take two variables and return sum of the variable here. So, oh, this is actually add function. This is another way of writing function in JavaScript. And this is called function expression. Okay, it will work once again. You can just try writing 0.1. Now you'll see different behavior. This is not what we want to see, right? We want to see 0.3, but 0.1 plus 0.2 becomes 0.3, 0, many zeros, and 4 at the end. So just try to see why is this happening. try to research yourself first. 0.1 plus 0.2 should be 0.3 exactly, right? But in programming, it is not exact same. This is about the precision with the hardware that we have into our computer. So this is the behavior. Just search y 0.1 plus 0.2 not 0.3. You can search anything in Google. Okay? You'll get some answer. Yeah, just read it. Just try to understand why 0.1 plus 0.2 doesn't equals to 0.3. Why is this output coming? Why such kind of output is coming? Just try to research. It is because of the conversion from decimal to binary, and that conversion cannot be precise, cannot be accurate. That's why we have that such kind of output. Yeah, you may have realized sometimes if you are coming from other programming language as well. But if you write 1 plus 2, that will be exactly 3.
Is that the conversion error or precision?
Okay, so we can create function in this way as well. But this is not only only the way. We have another way as well, and this is the way we will use most of the time. Actually, we will use equally function declaration as well. This is a function declaration, right? But we can create a function using arrow function as well. You can write function, and now I am passing a and v value, and I'm using arrow function, and I'm writing a plus b. And this is most straightforward, right? Really small syntax. Let me save it. Once again, it is working. Let me pass 5 plus 7. Once again, it is working here. So this is called arrow function. Sometimes arrow function is really neat way of writing functions. You can also put curly brace here as well. But if you put curly brace, you need to write a return statement here. Otherwise, it will not work. You can create your arrow function in this way as well. Otherwise, you can create arrow function if that is a single line return, then you can use add and pass a and b here and write an arrow and submit. This is really small syntax, right? It will work. Now we can create a function using this three syntax. Either use function declaration, or use function expression, or use arrow function. All of them will work. Okay, guys, is that fine? Did you understand it?
Yes. So the arrow is just almost like a return statement, right?
That's correct. So it will self-return. If this is a single line, this is a single line, isn't it? But if I want to store two variables, let's say that if I want to have something in between, I want to print what is A and what is B. Then I need to put curly brace. I need to put curly brace similar to here. So let me console log what is coming in A and what is coming in B. Now I cannot directly do here without curly brace. Now I need to use return statement explicitly. If you used curly brace, if that is not a single line, these are multiple lines currently, right? And now it will work. And you can see what is coming in A and what is coming in B as well. 5 is coming in A and 7 is coming in B. So whatever you write a value here will go here. And replace this A with 5. Replace this B with 7. Without this curly brace, it will not work. It will give you a syntax error here if you try to do it without curly brace. So that arrow function will only work for a single line if you are writing a single line. So if this is not you want to write, if you don't want to write multi-line, if you want to directly send the result from a single line, then you can use that arrow function in a single line. You can accept A and B and return it immediately. So return means sending the value. It is doing the return itself, the arrow function. But here, if I disable this one and activate the first one, on the function declaration, we are returning ourselves. If you don't write this return statement, it will not work. It will not don't write this return keyword, it will not work. So what is happening? Let me zoom out here a little bit. 100%. Save it once again. It says expected an assignment function call and instead saw an expression. It is not working. So you can try console logging the sum, what is coming inside sum, and that sum is not working here. So because we are not returning anything from here. So on line number 7, we have some issue here. So let's not do anything from here. Let's only create function. What do you think? What will happen here? If we only create function, you have a machine, right? You have a machine. Let's recall that juice maker machine. It has its input. We can insert the fruits from the top, but it doesn't have the output. We cannot get the juice. Then what will happen? We'll not get anything, right? Will not get anything. Means if you try to create your function in this way as well, then you'll not get anything. So it will get you undefined. So if you don't write return statement, then you'll see undefined coming from the function. It is not defined. Right? This is really, really important, very important. Okay. If you do not return anything from the function, then what will you get from the function? You will get undefined. So most of the time it will be asked in the interview as well. So we are getting undefined here.
So you mean we
not,
always need to return something?
yeah, if you want to provide something from your function, you always need to return. Sometimes you don't want to provide anything from the function. At that time, we'll not return. We'll see sometimes later with state in React, we'll see something called handler function. At that time, we'll not return anything. We'll create some side effect. We'll create some external effect, but will not return. But if you want to give some value from the function, if you create a function and that function is meant to give you some value, this add function should give you the value which is added, isn't it? So this will give you the value which is added, which is the value, which is the sum, right? That's why we need to give the value using that return keyword, using this return keyword here. Otherwise, it will not work. Otherwise, it will give you undefined. This is really important. Later, you will understand undefined coming a lot of time in React. So just understand from this moment, if you do not give anything from the function and you want to get the value, if you do not have return statement inside return keyword inside your function, and you want to get the value from that function, you will not get the value. You will get undefined. Okay, guys? Is it slightly difficult to you to understand? Those who are beginners in programming? What do you think, guys? I need your suggestion or feedback. Is it slightly difficult?
Actually, it's not about the difficult or not. It's new thing for us, so we need to do more practice.
Yeah, you need to practice a little bit about regarding syntax and return statement as well. Yeah, that's also correct. Yeah, right. So, but you understand, right? What a function is doing here. So a function
Yes, basically.
yeah, a function is helping you to give some output, taking some input here. You can reuse that function as many time you want. So this is add, right? You can create another variable. You can create, say, another add, or yeah, you can say another name here, add or output. And now what we want to do is we want to call this function one more time here, but now we will pass different value, 50 and 70. Your juice maker machine can accept any fruits, right? Most of the time. Most of the time, a machine means it will accept a larger amount of fruit or a smaller amount of fruit. It will have some limitation, but it will accept the range. It will not accept. It will not say that, hey, you can only add a piece all the time there. You cannot add 2 pieces. You cannot add 3 pieces. That is not the case. This is similar here. The main concept of function is you can reuse that function as many times as you want. Now we have this sum 12 coming here. Let's go inside JSX one more time and let's print this in h1 tag. Let's say h1 tag. So let me write first sum here, and I need to go inside JavaScript to print this sum. This is the first sum, and I want to print the second sum. Second sum. This is coming from output. Okay, above we have reused this function one more time. Let me do that. Then, and you can see the first sum is 12 and the second sum is 120. We have reused this function. We used this function on line number 27. We used this function on line number 28. That's why we have two different results. The function is the same, right? We haven't changed the function. We only used this function. We can use this function as many times as you want. We can do some mathematical operation here as well. For example, sum plus 20, and that will be 32. The result was 12 and 20 is added, and the result is now 32. Okay. This is also a function, isn't it? The line number 4 is a function, isn't it? So what type of function is this, guys? Is this a function declaration or a function expression or an arrow function?
Declaration.
Declaration, right? So actually, this is a function. We call it a component in React because it is returning something called JSX. So this is returning something called JSX or HTML. And this is a capital letter name here. And we call such kind of function in React a component. Those functions which are returning JSX are called component in React. I told you that we can create function in 3 ways. It means we can create this function in another way as well. Let's create this function using arrow syntax. So please help me here. What should I do to change this function to an arrow function? What can I do here? On line number 4, can somebody help me so that I can write here? I want to change this function to arrow function. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, please.
Const app.
Okay. Const and app, right?
Yeah.
This way. And
Equals.
equals.
Empty. I think it's empty parenthesis. Yeah, and then arrow.
That arrow. That's all right. And will it work? It should work.
It will work. Yeah.
It is working. It is working because this is one more time a function. It is a function, nothing else, right? And we can create this function in any of the syntax using any of the syntax. There are some caveats or some consequences or some difference between function declaration, function expression, and arrow function. But for now, we can actually assume these 3 as same thing, and you can either create a function using function declaration or function expression or arrow function. Later, we'll see the difference between function declaration, expression, and arrow function somehow. There are not that much major differences, but there are something that you should know. You can create this function using function expression as well, right? Instead of using arrow function here, what I can do is write a function and parenthesis. This is a function expression and absolutely working one more time. Okay. So is there something that you want to ask, guys, until now? So this is really, really important concept in JavaScript, a function. So we can create function somewhere outside here as well. Like, like you can say function. I'm making a file outside, okay, outside here inside src. I'm making a file called function.js, or you can say som.js because we want to create some function som.js. And what I will do is cut this function from here and paste it here. We have this function here. Now we don't have this function right here. So, but first let me commit that code and I'll delete everything from here and do it in second file. Let me quickly commit and I'll do that once again. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this function from here and I'm going to create a new file called som.js. In here I want to paste it, or you can say this add.js as well, because this is an add function, right? Add function. And now I'll delete everything from here. So I'll delete everything from here. This is not gonna work right now. This is not gonna work because where is this add coming from? It says add is not defined here. On the output on the live server, you can see add is not defined because we don't have add here in this file, right? We placed that add somewhere here on the another file. So how can we get this add into this app.js? We want to get this add written here inside this add.js file into app.js. Can you guess how can we do that? Can you just guess?
Import.
You don't have to tell.
We just
Yeah,
have to
import X.
We need to
Exactly.
import.
Exactly. That's correct. That's correct. We need to import. So can I use import here? Let me do it similar to this way. Okay. I'm doing import app add.js. This is JS actually, but it's not going to work here. One more time. It is still not working. Can you just guess what should I also do?
Export from the
That's correct.
add.js.
Export from that. That's right. That's right. So previously CSS was automatically exported, but the JavaScript, we need to export ourselves in JavaScript. So what we need to do is write export at the beginning, right here, export at the beginning. But in app.js, you saw this line number 16, really important line, okay? Line number 16. You saw this line and it says export default app. So this is called default export. We have two types of export, named export and default export. So I'm going to use the same syntax in app.js as well. We'll use this syntax later. This is called named export. But instead, I want to use that syntax called export default add. Here it was export default app. Now I'm writing export default add. I exported it. Still not working. Can you guess what should I change here on line number 4?
we have to import add from app.
Only add no.js sign on the import command.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you have
Yeah.
to remove .js. Yeah,
Let me try to do that first. .js only add,
I think so.
but it is not gonna work once
We
again.
have to
It should be
import.
app.add, right?
Yeah, we need to follow this convention, the first line convention. If you need to import JavaScript, then you'll write import something from somewhere. So import something means you can write anything here. You can write something, okay? Name can be anything for now. And from where? From this add dot slash. Dot slash means within the same directory. Dot slash add. You can write JS at the end, but you can remove it as well. With CSS, we need to write the extension, but with JavaScript, we can omit it, okay? It's optional. You can write JS. Let me try to do that. And that something is actually now this add. Okay, let me try to do this. This is creating slight confusion here. Let me save it. Now it is working. So we can name this add function anything here, right? Anything. We can still write add and add here as well. It's gonna work. But since it is a default export, this will only work for default export. Okay, this is really important to understand. This will only work for default export. If you have default export here, then you can write anything here, any name. If this is not a default export, if this is a named export that we'll do later, then you cannot write anything. You need to write the exact same thing. So let's show you how it is done. So for now, you can write anything here. You can write my add here, and you need to replace this with my add. It's gonna work. It is working. But let me do it with named export. If you do export here, this is a named export. Now it's not gonna work. You cannot write my add here. You need to write add. Not only add, you need to write parenthesis first. Sorry, curly brace first. So you need to write curly brace first and add here. Exactly same name and add here. And it will work now. But you cannot write anything here. You cannot write my add and my add here. It's not gonna work. Okay, that one will work only for the default export. So currently I'm doing with default export, this one, this syntax, and I will actually write anything, but let me write the same thing, add and add here, and now it is adding. Okay, is that fine? And you can remove this JS as well from the int, and it will work.
Hi, sir. Can you please repeat it again?
Okay, sure. So we are exporting something from here, right? So how can you say that we are exporting? Because we are writing this two keyword exporting. We want to add to write here. We want to export this name add variable. That's why I wrote add here. We cannot write anything here. This is not available into this file, right? So it doesn't make any sense. You need to write the variable name that you want to export. I want to export add here. Exporting means sending this from this file to other file. Now they can accept that file. We are sending it from here, but we don't know which file is going to accept this one. But we sent it from here. Now any file can accept it. Any file. We are sending it from here. Now any file within SRC can accept it. So now we want app.js to accept this file, accept this add. That's why we went inside app.js. Now to accept it, we need to write this line, the exact same thing on line number 4, exact same line. So you need to write import and give it a space. You can write any name here. I told you, you can write any name here. So you can write my output in this way as well. Just follow communication convention. My output, and instead of add, you can write my output here as well. It's gonna work. My output. While accepting it, you can rename it. Okay, we are renaming that add function to my output. But you don't have to rename. You can write the same name as well. It will work. Now we are accepting add from where? This file. This is the location of that file. How can you say that this is the location of this file? Because we are writing dot slash. But if this is present in some other file, like let me create another folder called utils. Let me send it to here. Now this is not gonna work. We sent our add from here, but we are accepting it from the wrong location. This is now inside this folder called utils. What you need to do is first select that folder here. Here, first select that folder called utils, and now select that file called add, which is inside utils here. Now we are selecting the correct path. Now this will work. Now we are using this add on line number 7 and we are printing it on line number 11. Now this is working. You can export in other ways as well. You can do a name export. You can write export here, and this is a named export. And if it is a named export, you need to write the exact, now it is not going to work. If this is a named export, you need to write the exact same name inside curly brace right here. Now this is the exact same name, but not inside curly brace, right? Now let me put it inside curly brace, and now it will work. Okay, do you understand?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I think guys, you need to practice these things. It will make more sense if you do it, try to do it yourself as well. But this is how we import and export something. And this is how we create those things in other files, on multiple files, multiple folders. And by making such kind of folders, we may have in our real application, we may have around 500, 600,000, 1,500 folders present. And inside that folders, we may have, yeah, including subfolders as well. We may have around 10 to 20 folders or many subfolders inside one folders. Yeah, we may have one folder, another folder. These folders are created to actually separate things so that we can find them easily in future. But we saw that we can write that codes directly in app.js as well. So this is called separation of concern in programming. So this is actually the convention followed by developer. So you can just search about separation of concern in programming, and you can just read something about it somewhere. Okay, so why separation of concern? What is SOC and why it is important? You can just read if you have time. Okay, this is important concept we'll follow. If you are a beginner, if you have done something earlier, then you'll actually you have realized that what a separation of concern is. This is actually separating things in different location so that we can find it easily in future. Okay, sometimes we can reuse it as well. Now I am using add here into app.js. Later I will have a different component and I can use this add there as well. All right. Is this clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So now I want to take your around 10 to 12 minutes only, then we'll end this session. Okay. I'm sorry I didn't take the break today. Just let me know if you want break in between sometimes. Sorry, someone was requesting the break. I couldn't see here. I'm gonna end this session really soon, around 10 minutes after 10 minutes. So let's quickly finish it. Then you can take a break. Okay. This session will be ended as well. So the last thing that I want to say here is the conditional that we can use in JavaScript. So we can conditionally display something in JavaScript. Okay, we can conditionally do that. So what we can do is, um, so what we can do is we can use a condition, something like um, let me create another function here, and I'm gonna export. And one more thing, which is really important, you can use export default if you have a single export. Okay, if you want to export multiple things from a file, then you need to use named export in this way. Okay, now I want to create another function like const output, and I want to accept a single number. and I want to return the output, and I want to do it in curly brace because I'll write multiple syntax, multiple lines here. So I will return something. Currently, let me return in a single line 10 here without accepting anything. So now I want to export this one as well. So if you do export default add, you can only export either this one or this one. You cannot export these two at the same time. So if you want to export multiple things from a file, then you can use this export here, export syntax here. This is the named export. Now I'm exporting add and output together. Okay, so what I want to do is accept this output and I will import it here. Now this add and output are coming from the same file called add here, right? Or you can say this utility function, utility, and you want to change the corresponding reference here as well, utils and utility inside. VS Code will sometimes do it for you. So from that utility, we are getting add, and from that utility, we can also get output. That's why you can either write in different line output here, write in different line and just display that output somewhere here. This is the output actually, output which is the output that you are getting above. This is, oh sorry, I think I missed. Okay, maybe they are not, this is nothing coming from output. Output, it is coming number 10. Okay, maybe, yeah, I'll fix it. But what I want to say is you can either get output here or directly add here as well after comma. It's the same thing because we are getting it from the same file. That's why you don't have to create multiple lines here. But let's see what is happening here. It says functions are not a valid React style. This may happen if you return component instead of, okay. So component from a render, or maybe mean to call this function rather than return it. So we haven't used this function somewhere here, right? We are directly printing this function. We need to store the value coming from this function in the same way as this sum function. Otherwise, it will show you such kind of error because we are directly printing this function. We cannot directly print function on our screen. We need to print the value coming from that function. So what you can do is output. So this is not accepting anything right here. This is not accepting anything. So we don't have to pass anything here. And this is output. Okay. So I'm writing this is result coming from output function, and this is actually a result coming from sum function. And now the result coming from the sum function is 32, and the result coming from the output function is 10. Why is this 10? Because we are sending 10 from here. We can send any number, right? It will come there. So what I can do is I can send that number here as well. I can send 10 here and accept that 10 here. Accept that 10. You can write any variable name, okay? You can write X here as well. If you have read algebra, then you know variable. Variable means to store some value, right? Here as well, it is storing some value. So now I can just return this X. Whatever coming, I am actually sending it. So 10, because I'm sending 10 here. I can send 50, and it will be printed 50 on the screen. Now what I am doing is I will conditionally display this. Now what I will tell is if I'm writing if else statement, I'll actually explain it. Okay, if this X, what is coming there is greater than 10, then I will say return your number is greater than 10, else I'll return your number is less than 10. So let me save it now, and you can see this is the result coming from the function, and it says your number is less than 10. This CSS is applied from here, okay? Actually, this is the CSS actually. Now you can see all in black color. So it says your number is greater than 10 because I am passing 50 here. Let me pass 5, and it says, it will say, let me only pass 5. It will say your number is less than 10. So we are conditionally displaying things from here. We are using if else condition. So what we are doing here is, hey, just get this number. Get this number from where? Get this number from app.js. So what is the number? 5.
Your screen is
So
frozen.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
hi Gorak.
Hi, sorry, Gaurav. Yeah.
Your screen is lagging. That's why I'm not able to see your screen properly.
it is lagging.
Yeah.
For how long is that lagging?
I
Just 2
was
3 minutes.
I couldn't see the output
Oh, sorry.
earlier either,
Yeah.
so it just showed up everything at once.
Okay, sorry guys, sorry for that. Maybe the connection is not that good. So what I'm saying is, I am writing I am printing something conditionally here. Is it good now? Can you see my screen?
No.
I see if x is greater than 10.
Yeah.
Now we
I don't
can
know if
see.
you.
If X is greater
Now
than
you can see. Currently I'm sharing my browser with VS Code.
Still frozen.
Still frozen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then. Okay, so actually I am talking about if else conditions in JavaScript. I want to dynamically print something. So depending upon the condition, if the value coming is greater than 10, I want to print your number is greater than 10. Otherwise, I'll print your number is less than 10. This is about conditionals in JavaScript. So just try to search about conditional in JavaScript. Okay, and you will see if else condition there. I think my internet is quite slow here, not searching properly. And just look at this one as well, if else condition. Actually, I'm talking about this if else condition, and maybe I'll continue this thing from here tomorrow. Will that be fine, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking about this if else condition. Just try to hit and trial, do something yourself. Try to become familiar with if else condition and function as well. And if you have time, just quickly look for JavaScript arrays and JavaScript object. Okay, arrays and JavaScript object. If you have time only, okay. We are doing these things tomorrow, I think. So just try to quickly look at this thing. This is really slow, I think. I am not able to continue from here, I think. Just try to look at this thing yourself tomorrow. Maybe we will continue from here tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow my internet will be quite stable and we can take some more time as well. Okay, guys. So can you hear me, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can I end this session for now? Do you want to ask me something?
All right, we will see you tomorrow then.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Thank you so much, guys. So I'm leaving this session from here. So I'm dropping this session. So thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye.
How many of you use a really big screen to to see like two screen one. When Guru sir teaches, I see a very tiny part of the computer which shows codings actually, which is important. I wanted to suggest.
Do you
I
have
don't
a
know
pop-out button on your Teams?
what.
Do you have a pop-out thing on your Teams like that will be next to the people? If you just click that, you will be only able to see his screen on a different window.
Like
No, not now it's not visible, but um, just like on the left side to people, like on your Teams, like there's like navigation bar where there's people, chat, reactions, and all that. You'll see a button there that says pop out. If you just click that, you
yeah,
can
I
see the screen.
see the dot buttons, like there are 9 dots on the top, the Teams app, and then the Bail activity, and chat, and Teams, and then the files. I don't see the pop-up button. Is it within this 9 dots?
So yeah.
Where is that? Because he uses big screen on his while teaching, but two things: one, Explorer codes, and then
Okay,
the
so
output in the same screen. But when it comes to one laptop, it becomes
like this next to the people over here, when he is like
yeah.
screen sharing, there will be a pop out. If you just go and click that, you will be only able to see his like full screen instead of like this chats and everything. If
Hold
that
on,
makes it clear.
hold on, okay.
So like this. So this is when he was content sharing. So I'm only able to like see the screen. Like I have like two screens. Like I have another like couple desktop, but I'm just showing you like you can do it this way.
Hold on, okay.
Now you won't be able to see it because he's not sharing.
If somebody is sharing from their laptop, the the fonts are so clear and visible because it's the same font and then comes to everybody's screen. Of course, it might be too big for the big monitor people, those who are using big monitor.
No,
But
I'm just using like 13-inch MacBook. It works fine on
oh,
mine.
really? Okay,
Yeah.
maybe just which? Okay, hold on. Pop-up button. You said there is share and then next more action. Is it within the more action?
Uh,
Turn
I can tell you
left.
in class tomorrow when he starts screen sharing.
Okay, together. There is hide. Show participants. I don't see any. Can you get a control or ask for control, and then I can manipulate and see whether actually I have it or not, just for a 2 minute. I didn't want to hold you for long.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the class is done.
Class it down.
Oh,
Well,
somebody was texting on the in the group.
okay. Let me start. Neeraj, I will not start it down until we are done. Unless everybody's exits, he will be there. Okay. Just can you see my screen now? It's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. to tell me which button you're talking about, pop-up button.
I think I can. Are you so can you download like Teams on your desktop? I think you're just
Oh,
doing it from your browser, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I
So
should download.
when you download Teams to your like desktop or your laptop, what's gonna
Yeah.
happen is like, okay, let me show you. Okay, you can stop sharing. I can just show you.
Okay. Can you show me from your screen so that I can? Are you sharing now? Trying to share? Okay.
Okay, so this is so what you can do is like you can go to active, like you have to sign in um with your like login like credentials provided by TakeYou.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is just go and join meeting here.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to like access chat and everything. So if you don't do it this way, or if you don't do through like the link that TakeYou sent you, like you'll be just like be logged in as meeting guest and you won't able to access chat or anything like that. So if you just go here and do it,
Okay.
this is the easiest way to like kind of join to the class instead of just like clicking link all the time. So
Yeah.
you can just go to your activity and then see here, like you can see here join button,
Yeah.
and you can join the meeting this way.
Yeah. You have just one account, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In my case, I have a multiple account. That's why.
You can choose like take your account, right? That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And then
All right.
when you do that, like, so I don't still get like what you're trying to say about like the font are really small or something, but it should like be your full screen. Like whenever you do the pop out, even like I can see your fan moving. Like
Yeah.
I mean it's still visible. Or if it's gonna be like too small font for you, you can just ask him to increase the font size. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah. And when I say that, he says he gets a smaller space to work on. So maybe he's trying best to make the best fun. And I'm just assuming he is good at his screen because he has three screens, one Explorer, and then middle part, the coding, the console, and then the other is browser output.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, what I usually do is like I don't want to like when he's screen sharing, I don't want to be on this like on the team app like where it shows like bunch of chat like peoples and all that. So I'll just to pop out and it will only like I will be only able to see his screen so that it will be easier for me to like kind of work with my
Yeah.
other big stuff. So
Yeah,
that's what I
maybe
do.
you have a sharper eyes. I use almost +3. No, is it +3? No,
Or
I
you
use glass. Maybe because of that. Yeah. I'll try to get
maybe like
another.
if you have like kind of if you have like on a like any tablet or like iPad or anything
Yeah,
like that, you
tablet
can
is fine. Yeah, I used to sometimes use a tablet
just
that you can just zoom in with the finger. It becomes really big. But in the Windows, that's not possible. That's not. Oh, sometimes it does. Oh, it's not. Okay, maybe I can do it. My computer also has a touch screen. Okay, let me try next time. Okay. Yeah, thank
okay,
you.
guys, good night.
Yeah, good night. Thank you, Nisha, for waiting.
Good night, everybody.